welcome back. My name is Russ Bradford. I'm a co-founder of Parkinson's Concierge, and we're here to give you messages of hope from three more of our collaborating partners.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Allen. I'm also a person living with Parkinson's. I've had Parkinson's now for nearly 17 years. I was diagnosed at the age of 36.
So first up, we'd like to bring to you a message of hope and basically a video which explains what goes on in the background. Everyone thinks that once they've seen a Parkinson's nurse or their neurologist, that that's the end of it. But I can assure you that there's a lot of research going on into the causes of Parkinson's, as well as the medicinal effects that new trials can bring to the forefront.
So who are you going to talk about?
First one I'm going to talk about is a gentleman who I've had the great pleasure of meeting, is Steve Dodds. He's a clinical research nurse, and in the video that you'll see, he talks about his work on studies into the disease. He started his nurse training after working in social care and enjoyed looking after people and being able to make a difference to them. He qualified as a nurse 21 years ago in March 2000, and other than a couple of years working on the neurology maxillofacial ward, 3 years as a Parkinson's disease nurse specialist, he then went on to become more involved in research. And like I say, I've been involved with Steve on one of his, on a couple of his research opportunities, trying to find things that can basically correlate with Parkinson's.
Also, I think we need to mention about one of the most interesting studies that he was involved in.
Yeah, one of his most interesting studies that I have been involved in, and he's recruited patients for, was looking at compounds found on the surface of the skin. This came about after a lady described a change to her husband's body odour that she had noticed before he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. The study was recently in the news, as scientists are hopeful that this research could soon lead to a new testing method to aid the diagnosis of Parkinson's.
I wonder whether the odour between women and men is different with Parkinson's.
It's got to be because you stink.
How lovely you are, aren't you? Really, really nice.
Bear in mind, Parkinson's is the fastest growing neurological disorder in the world. The current estimates, are that between 10 million and 14 million people live with the condition.
We've also been involved with research projects at the Northumbria University. We're currently involved with the Parkinson's nurse study, and we really enjoy working with them, don't we? And giving our input and helping everyone have a Parkinson's nurse, and they're assessing which areas are short of nurses, and they're trying to address that, aren't they?
Absolutely. And good morning, William.
Morning, William. Right, so on the next subject, it's all about freezing. Freezing can be a common symptom of Parkinson's. Russ and I don't actually suffer with freezing, but there's a lot of people that do, and they describe it as feeling like their feet are glued to the ground. We've got a good friend who loves dog walking, got a few dogs, goes out for a walk a couple of times a day. And he felt he was independent on one of his walks, so he said to his wife, "I'll meet you at home." Little did he know that he had one of these freezing episodes where he was just totally stuck on the side of the road on the pavement. Luckily, a cyclist went past and he was managed to sort of flag him down and say, "Excuse me, I'm frozen," and managed to give him his wife's mobile phone. And then the cyclist kindly contacted his wife, and his wife came out in the car to pick him up. And that's just one incident, isn't it?
Freezing is a very common symptom of Parkinson's. I don't tend to suffer with it.
No.
Or know much about it because, like I say, you tend not to find out about it if you don't experience it. But one thing that I do suffer from, which was prior to my DBS, was stirring a cup of tea a simple job, and it felt like you could not lift your arm no matter what you were trying to do. Your arm felt like it was held to the kitchen workbench with a 20-kilo weight on it.
Yeah, so lots of people have different ways of actually coping with their freezing. Some of those ways include starting to count and get a rhythm going. Other people play music into their earphones. Other people, like we saw earlier in the week, Nick Morris, they kick the stick to keep moving. But we've been introduced, and we partner with a company called Eye for Life. They're based in Spain, and they've got a solution for some people, we believe, with their freezing. It's actually a smart device, but it's a walking stick called the Porto, and the company's called Eye for Life. That's I and FORLIFE. And they've designed an amazing sort of walking stick or walking cane, whatever you would like to call it, that's able to provide visual and haptic cues to help you with freezing of gait episodes. And for peace of mind of carers or people that are living with the person with Parkinson's, you can be reassured because
within the device, it holds a SIM card, which is linked to a geolocation software program. So if it detects that you've pressed the help me or the emergency button on the top, or if it detects that the stick has fallen over, which may indicate that the person has fallen over
or in trouble,
it will actually send a message to the person who you nominate from your mobile phone or on the app software. That there is a potential issue, and you know that person can easily find you on one of the maps available on well, it's something like Google Maps.
Yeah. We have some of these walking canes that, you know, if you're experiencing a real problem with freezing or walking and you'd like to try one out, get in contact with us at Parkinson's Concierge, because we can arrange for you to have a trial of the stick for a couple of weeks and see how you find it. It's just one of those things we've come across, isn't it?
Mm. It also includes things like haptic feedback, which is like a vibration to try and get you on the move again, as well as a laser line, because some people find that following a pattern such as like a visible laser line, which can cue the person to start walking again. So it's a fantastic device. We strongly recommend it.
We love working with them, don't we?
Yeah, they're lovely people.
Lovely people. Okay, another company that we actually collaborate with, quite an interesting product. This time it's an app which monitors your condition, and the results and the data can be given to care partners of your choice. Now, just a little question that I want to throw out there. If there was an app and it monitors your condition and you could look at the results and choose where the data went to, would you be prepared to pay for it yourself? Just a quick question, whether you would or whether you wouldn't.
Bear in mind, you know, to answer the question positively, one thing that people may want to take into account is things like smartwatches. You've got to pay for them.
Yeah.
You know, they aren't given freely. So bear that in mind when you answer Charlotte's question.
Yeah, just because obviously we get the NHS for free, we get various things for free, which sometimes I think we take for granted. Over in the States, obviously they don't. They pay for everything, and maybe they don't have an issue with paying for a piece of tech that monitors their healthcare. But bearing in mind now we're on to not so many face-to-face appointments and we are monitored remotely, both Russ and I think this next partner, which is called Kineticos, is a really good option to monitor your condition. So I'll let Russ tell you a bit about what it is.
It's an app that you move on your phone, and believe it or not, the technology in mobile phones these days is phenomenal. The app will monitor your movement. It will monitor like your pace. It will monitor your steps, as well as providing background information to the clinicians to let you know so they can see what's going on. Bear in mind, a lot of people only get to see their neurologists twice a year, for about 20 minutes per session. So you're only being looked at during those 40 minutes in a year.
Yeah.
Whereas the app will monitor you 24/7, 365 days a year, and the information can be uploaded to your physician, neurologist, care specialist, for them to look at the graphs. So
yeah, we work with co-founder who's Louis Rodriguez. They're a Portuguese company. Am I right in saying that that's CE marked?
I believe it's CE marked, yeah.
So, yeah, the project is so really ready to go. So their mission is that they were founded in 2015, and Kineticos is a digital health company only with one mission: to revolutionise the standard of care for movement disorders and its related musculoskeletal and neurological conditions. How do they do that?
They instantly translate patients' movement data into clinical insight for accurate assessment and treatment monitoring, while improving the quality of life through continuum care.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Fantastic. So Parkinson's Concierge seek companies, businesses, startups, medical tech devices, medical tech companies, who we feel have products or services that would be of huge benefit to the people in the Parkinson's community. So if you have products or services, you're a startup, and you would like your product tested by the community, please feel free to get in touch, and we'll get you in touch with the right people.
I see that William's got a question there about, does your foot that sticks count?
Does your foot that sticks count as freezing?
Yeah, I'd say it does.
It does, William. Yeah. If you're like walking at pace, but you can't lift your foot or move your foot, then that can count as freezing.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, as some people with Parkinson's, when they freeze is when they walk from one surface like carpet onto wood or onto a different surface.
That's
they have
right.
a problem when they're approaching it to actually keep moving. And also the same with gaps. So if you're going from one room to the next and you've got to go through a doorway, some people have issues with going through the doorway. And then another interesting fact about people with Parkinson's, we often ask ourselves, don't we, why can someone not walk forwards, but they can run sideways and backwards?
Strange condition we all have.
Yeah. So lastly, we need to obviously mention our chosen charity of the month, and that's the World Parkinson's Congress. They've got loads of exciting things coming up, and obviously their website details will be after this event. We'll put them up along with the videos accompanying the people we've talked about today. But the World Parkinson's Congress, obviously, the next one is Barcelona in June next year, from the 7th to the 10th of June. So lots of things going on, lots of research going on, and this is our 10th live broadcast on Parkinson's Awareness Week, and we're doing 12 in total. So we'll definitely be back tonight again at 6 o'clock. We welcome you to come and look at what we're going to talk about and who we're collaborating with.
Yeah, well, thanks for tuning in. Just a little bit more about the World Parkinson's Coalition. They run a fantastic grant scheme to allow people to apply for the grant for their travel grant.
Yes.
So if you do have any donations you could kindly give, that may help you or a fellow person living with Parkinson's to attend next year's event in Barcelona.
And on a separate note as well, one of our partners that we'll be talking about on our last session is a travel company, isn't it?
Absolutely.
who
Yeah.
deal with disabled or assisted travel throughout the world. And we're going to tell you a bit about them. And maybe if you feel you can't get to the next Congress, maybe they might have some solutions to how you could get there and what they can do for you too.
That's great. Well, thank you all for tuning in. We will be back later on at 6 with some more messages of hope from some of our collaborators. And thank you for tuning in.
Thanks.